Hat Stereotypes, Episode 10, The Spy, the penultimate episode of this series, by SoundSmith.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about the favorite class of every new player ever. The tuxedo terror. Now, there are plenty of stigmas about spy mains that I could be talking about. I think the most prominent one is that spy mains are all weeaboos, or, something like that. And to be honest, I just feel like that's kind of the low-hanging fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Which is why I'm going to make that joke right away. Okay, so now that
Oh my god. Yeah, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting Naruto to pop up. I have expected it. I'm kind of glad he followed through on it, though.
that's out of the way, let's do that whole disclaimer thing. Stereotypes don't always apply to everyone, so don't get mad at me just because you don't like your stereotype for the hat you wear. It's not my fault. Anyway, everybody ready? Alright, let's go.
I don't mean this in a negative way. I feel like the disclaimers kind of become a bit at this point. Kind of like whenever I do firearms reactions on Tactic Hip and I talk about skill and merit. I feel like at this point it's just become a bit. And I'm kind of playing into the bit at this point. Like, something can be a bit and have an encompassing, like, yeah, I do this because it's a relevant disclosure. But we all know it's a relevant disclosure for those, like, random few people that go, buh, right? I don't know how else to word it. Like, I like the bit.
Okay, so usually I start off with the old school player hat, and you'd think that this would apply here. This was one of the first hats for Spy, so a lot of veteran players would understandably be attached to this hat. That being said, it's kind of become known as the veteran Spy hat in the last few years, meaning a lot of new spies who want to seem like they're experienced will wear this hat thinking it'll fool everyone. And, spoiler alert, it doesn't. This guy is usually a stock purist, meaning he's only going to use the default weapons for Spy. In this case, that's actually really good, since the stock weapons for Spy are really good, consistent, and not infuriating to play against when they're abused or used as a crutch.
Definitely not.
So as much as I hate spies in general, I really respect these guys at the same time. Even though the hilariously overpowered set effect tied to this hat is long gone, these guys will still always use the Saharan Spy set and usually the Dead Ringer with it. Despite the fact that the Dead Ringer's decloak is no longer almost completely silent, they're still holding on to it. Maybe it's out of a sense of nostalgia, or maybe it's because they're terrible at staying alive and they need to have a crutchy get-out-of-jail-free card.
I don't actually use the Dead Ringer. I feel like I need to get good at Spy without the Dead Ringer before I actually integrate the Dead Ringer, because if I don't actively practice with Spy, if I don't practice good habits, I'm going to ruin the entire learning process. Like, I still have a lot of learning to do with Spy. It's been an interesting class to learn, but it could be that you just trained for so long. It's actually why what was I doing? Oh yeah, servers, I guess Comp does this as well. I guess they like make shotgun spread predictable. To which I'm like, I will tell whoever I need to that is objectively wrong. I don't know if you've ever shot, shotgun shells, but there's pellet variants. That's part of the whole balancing point of shotguns. Like, what do you mean that you made it more predictable? I don't know, dude. Like, there are some things, there are some isms that I don't quite grasp. Let's put it that way about this game. Yeah, I think that there is a certain point where things get a little too nutty.
Oh boy, this ought to be good. So, there are two types of Charmer Chapeau spies. First, there are the ones who haven't quite figured out that they have a gun yet. They'll constantly try for trick stabs, even on people who aren't complete morons, and when they inevitably fail, instead of going invisible to escape or backing up and shooting you with their class's primary weapon, they'll just hop around like an idiot hoping you'll approach and become a victim of this game's shitty melee hit reg. And then they'll act like it was all skill when they eventually get a face stab.
Guys.
Now on the other side of the coin, we actually have the exact opposite. These guys refuse to use their knife. In fact, they'll always use the ambassador, no matter what. Even if they can't actually aim, they'll still try to use it so they can be like Akuma and get those sick ambi headshots. So today we've got a certified spy main here with us to talk to us about why he loves the ambassador so much. So yeah, welcome. So tell me, why do you use the ambassador?
Well, it's the best revolver for spy by far.
Okay, what makes you say that?
Well, I watched Akuma play spy, and he uses it, so that means every other revolver must be bad.
Makes sense. No, it's logical.
Yeah, well, but the stock revolver is really consistent and helpful for someone without godlike aim, right?
It is honestly really consistent. I've my current one is I'm trying to force myself to learn Diamondback because that sounds pretty spicy. But no, like the stock revolver is very consistent.
Yeah, but it isn't the ambassador.
Okay,
Exactly.
but
No,
the
this makes
Diamondback
sense.
rewards you with crits that do the same damage as the ambassador for just playing your class effectively, right?
Yeah, but it isn't the ambassador.
Okay.
It's Sasuke scrap speaks reason. I can't find fault in this man's logic.
But the L'étranger is a fantastic utility weapon that allows you to more effectively get behind enemy lines and get crucial picks, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Right, so you don't always have to use
But it isn't the ambassador.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
He's not wrong. You know what the selling point is for the ambassador, though? When you use the festive kit on it and you get a festivized ambassador, it has a singular festive bulb underneath the barrel. Okay, that is just a superior weapon.
This is the Spy's low-tier unusual hat. The nuts and bolts one won't even cost you 10 keys if you can find the right seller.
Weird.
Just look for the quick sales.
Huh, fair enough.
Now this hat is the true veteran Spy hat. It was Spy's first hat ever, but barely anyone ever wears it anymore, which means that the ones who still wear it have been wearing it for a really long time. They'll also usually use stock, but they're open to using whatever's the most effective weapon for a certain situation.
Yeah. I feel that.
I'm not actually a huge fan of this one. I know a lot of people like it because, oh wow, it's such a cool future cyborg hat and people will think I'm cool if I wear this, you know, that sort of thing. But it's really hard to pair with Spy's other cosmetics. I don't know. Oh, and this guy usually uses the Diamondback, so expect for him to pull out a metric shit ton of crits just out of nowhere.
Trying to think what I honestly wear. I think I default to the aviator hat. I default to the funny M. Bison hat.
Okay, so most of you who wear this hat probably wear it because you saw that one main menu picture of the Spy with this one and thought it was funny. That's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just still fairly widespread.
Fair.
So this guy will usually use the L'étranger, or however you pronounce it, I don't know. Maybe it's just because the name is similar? I don't really know. As far as I know, there's no item set or anything. The only thing that connects these two together is the name. It's just, I don't know, man.
It's funny. No.
Now this hat is probably the most try-hardy hat that Spy has. Now again, I just want to clarify that being a tryhard is not a bad thing.
No.
I know that it's gotten a negative connotation over the years, so let me just explain what I mean. This guy doesn't try to be flashy, he doesn't go for trick stabs willy-nilly, he won't try and get unnecessary headshots with the ambassador to look cool. He tries to win. And if that means not doing something fancy and just stabbing some people, then he'll do it, which is really respectable.
Weird. You mean be realistic? Not necessarily like playing within your skill level, right? But like being conscious about like movement economy, action economy, not taking risks, trying to make calculated plays. Weird how that works.
This Spy has been playing the game for a while now, but he's not amazing at the class. Of course, that can actually work out in his favor sometimes, since he won't always do the things that you expect experienced spies to do.
Fair.
Now, this hat is a total war pig. Okay, in fact, a lot of spies' hats are war pigs, but this one is probably one of the bigger ones. This guy uses the sharp dresser all the time and thinks he can trick stab, and he probably can't.
I've been debating on picking up the sharp dresser. I mean, I know it's just a reskin. I know it's just
This guy will almost
skin.
always wear this hat with the escapist, and that's really it. There's nothing else.
Fair.
That's it.
Fair.
Why are you still here? Go.
No.
That's it. That's
No.
the joke.
I'm staying.
There is no joke. It's just a stereotype. Go. Go. Get out of here. Come on. We gotta get to the edgy joke. Let's go. Come on. Move along.
The funny, the edgy. Oh, it's so bad. Bro, I couldn't do it.
Alrighty, that's it for today. As always, if I missed a hat you wanted to see, let me know so that I can put it in the last episode, which I reserved for popular hats that I missed the first time around. And after that, well, that's it. Well, I mean, not really. I'm absolutely going to do more stereotype videos for things like weapons and miscs and paints and, other stuff. I'm well aware that the stereotype videos are the reason most of you subscribed, so I have no plans to stop doing that. Don't worry.
I think you did, eventually.
Other than that, I think that's all I had. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.
I loved it, honestly. I thought this was great. I thought there was a lot of funny memes in this. I keep expecting a Linkin Park meme at the end. Like, I've been conditioned at this point. I keep expecting the funny. But thank you, everyone, for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I sure did. I had an absolute blast with this. And sorry, I know my feed's kind of wonky. I've been on a true crime binge. So that's why there's some pretty rough subject videos. Because as it turns out, this is my account that's tied to YouTube Premium, so I'm sorry that the wires are getting crossed, as it were. But it's been honestly a lot of fun, and I need to find a good hat for Spy. Once I find a good hat for Spy, I'm gonna have to go in a couple trade groups or reach out and find a good hat and get a Crab Unusual for it, because I do love that Crab Unusual. I'm forever sad that I will never be able to own a Spy Crab, but that's fine. Like, the people who, bought the plushies, got the codes back and supported TF2 in some of its darker days, they deserve that W, right? That's fair. In regards to the shotgun, that's honestly just a personal thing for me, right? That was a huge thing. That was a huge point of contention on stream recently, where it's, part of the balancing point on shotguns is going to be to have that variable pellet spread. You are taking that risk. TF2 also has balancing in regards to one, hitting all your pellets, so that pellet spread as well as damage fall off. So just getting into the nitty gritty design of shotguns has been fairly interesting recently, and how, yes, competitive tries to lessen that variance by having a fixed spread, but I feel that competitive TF2 misses the mark on it personally, and I definitely consider that a little bit of an L in terms of game design. However, come to your own educated conclusion. You can agree with me or you can disagree with me. You are more than free to do so. That being said, thank you everyone for watching. Really do appreciate it. Can't wait to see what we have in the finale, which is next time, and I will see you all in the next one. Oh, and recommend me a spicy spy hat. Thanks.